Today, as you can tell, we're talking about Battletoads. So I fired up Rare Replay and throw on the 1991 Battletoads game. This came a year after Digger, and it looks better. It does look better than Digger, but dear God, is this game like, I started in and just instantly started getting my ass kicked, right? Just this game wanted to show you that you need to memorize every 3 seconds of what's going on. I was like way out of my league, and it comes to the point that I don't play a lot of these older side scroller type games. They're not my niche, they're not my thing, but I want to provide you with content, provide you with the deep love making of what there is to be made on the Rare replay system. Are these old games still hold up? Are the mechanics still good? And I have to say, like, even though this game throws a lot of crap at you and it feels like it spams you with garbage, it's not terrible. That is until I got to this level. After I pushed my ass through that first little section, I got to this little, like, falling tunnel crap. And now you've seen me kill this guy right here, and I'm clutching it, but it took me like 2 attempts just to get to this guy because he pops out of the wall and just blast asses your lives away. Everything in this area just seems to fight the controls at every second. I mean, even the controls are like trying to handle a clip by using a 10-foot pole. It's not gonna work. You're just gonna beat her vagina up. And that's not what we do here on this channel, unless it's in a loving way. No, we'll beat the pussy up in a loving way. We will not beat it up with a pole. That is rude, unless it's your pole and it's consensual. But I got to the point where I was like, oh, I'm kind of annoyed. Even though there was a hot chick here that, like, tried to convince me that I need to go plow her pussy deep, like, I wasn't about to slap that clit. So then I jumped back to Rare Replay, and I saw that there was an arcade version. I was like, well, maybe I'll give this a shot. And I'm here to tell you, boys and girls, this shit is freaking amazing. I mean, this is like some chainsaw blade nipple clamps. You know what I mean? Like, you're running in, there's an apocalypse going, you're swinging your titties, and it's just got razor blades hanging off of it, or a chainsaw blade. And anybody who tries to come close to you, you're like, there's your fingers. That's what you get for trying to squeeze my nipples. I cut your fingers off. That's what I'm getting here, man. This part was so awesome. Not to mention, so with the other game, it was built for the NES, and I don't know what the sadistic thing was about the NES games where you die and you start the entire game over. I don't like that. I'm not about that. But you see, this is an arcade game. The original pay-to-win, baby. And if you're going to argue, well, arcade games weren't pay-to-wins, okay, when you run out of lines, what do you do? What do you do when you run out of lives? You pump in more money, baby. You put in another quarter. It's like you want the stripper to keep twerking on you. You want that sweat to drip down into your mouth, so you throw $1 up on stage. This costs a quarter of that, because it's a quarter George Washington, mother trucker. And that's kind of what I did. Every time I ran out of lives, I added in another quarter, except for I didn't have to add in another quarter because I have Rare Replay, so I can just constantly spam myself new lives, which makes this an entirely better experience. I know what you're going to say in the comments. Get good. I don't like this style of game enough to try to get good at it. Actually, let me rephrase that, because I did enjoy what I played of the NES game, and I love this game right here. I mean, do you see me just launching this stupid cow back into the ecosphere? Yeah, I'm doing that because I'm freaking badass. But the thing about these games is there's cheap bullshit that is going to kill you, and there's cheap bullshit that's going to kill you in the NES game. And that's why I don't feel like getting good at it, because I don't want to sit here, spend 40 hours to beat a 30-minute game. This game took me like a couple hours to beat, right? Not too long. I mean, I jumped in and out of it. I was playing another game on the side because I'm constantly pumping out goddamn content for you. I'm milking myself dry, baby. My forearms are like twice the size they normally are just to get content out for you. But I was like in this game and I was having fun on one of these crappy side scrollers, and I was like, holy shit. And the whole time I'm thinking, am I really enjoying it, or am I enjoying it because of the fact that I can constantly keep playing it and I don't have to start the game over every 5 seconds? And I think it's both, because one, the gameplay in this version is much better than the NES version. I feel like the controls are a lot better. When I was doing the like fall down the cavern thing, the way you swung felt like absolute like garbage. It felt like AIDS getting dripped into your own butthole, right? It doesn't feel good. It's not, Magic Johnson doesn't wake up every day thankful he has AIDS. He's just thankful he's alive. And I played a ton of games that are fairly easy or constantly really don't let you die. And the main thing that keeps me coming back to them, if the game's garbage, I'll drop it right there. I don't owe anybody nothing. I will drop it right on your mama's titties or on the Dark Queen's titties, because goddamn, those mommy milkers are juicy as fuck. God, every time she pops up on screen, I'm like, do I really have to beat your ass? Because I don't really like hitting women. I've never hit a woman in real life, or in I've done it in video games, because you can just do anything in video games. That's what makes them based. But I'm not going to, hit a woman in real life. I feel wrong about it. It makes me feel, kind of grimy. I would never do that. Anybody who I find out hit a woman, you're not in my contacts anymore, because you're a weird dweeb. And so, but in this game, I was feeling a little off about it. Luckily, I don't ever have to fight her. I just have to fight her stupid goddamn grunts that they throw at me. And the level design on this, the different biomes, you saw me playing the snow area before, and now I'm back to it because I wanted to show you the sheer jump between the different level designs. It's amazing. I loved the fact that I never felt like I was getting bored. I was constantly ahead of the curve when it came to things. It was like I jump into, or not ahead of a curve. I was constantly on my toes. I was constantly on the tip of my dick, floating 3 inches above the ground, just fully erect. I mean, not to mention the sheer animations in this game compared to the other one. Yes, I know that there was a 3-year gap between the original BattleToads and then the arcade port. And yes, I know that the arcade machines had much more power than the home consoles. So to have these better looking pixels, these better looking graphics, the better animation makes complete sense. And for me, jumping back to it, this makes for a much better playing experience for somebody like me who really doesn't have any nostalgia for the old school NES bullshit era, which a lot of people probably hate me for and are like, oh, he's not a true gamer. I don't give a fuck what you think I am. It says in my bio, I don't play games very good. Don't take me too seriously. I'm here to make jokes about this garden snake coming in and trying to plow my dick off, right? I'm not here to give you a breakdown. I mean, yeah, I'm in the retrospective category. If I hope I am. I might not be a snooze fest like some of those other son of a bitches who were like, well, you see here, the snake is a metaphor for sexism in gaming. Nah, go fucking pound sand up your dick hole. Go fucking find a fucking sounding rod that's metal and go outside during a thunderstorm and get electrified to the tip of your dick, because that would slap some real clit. And honestly, when I play a game like this, a game that had as much edge as this game does, and I see those people who are going to make videos on this today, they're soft, they've grown weak, but at the time they were eating this shit up. Those people who played this in the arcade, they played this game because they're like, they're toads, they're like Ninja Turtles, and you're like, a sexy chick with big boobs? Of course I'm playing this game. I want to see them mommy milkers, the mams. And the fact that this game had that gross out humor, did you just see that rat come out of the bathroom to come fight my ass? He didn't even wipe. He's wiping as he fights me, slapping me with his shit. This game has grime, has grotesqueness. I love that shit, man. That's what I'm here for. This is the one thing from this era of gaming that I fucking eat up, because this era still had edge, and I loved that the gaming industry kept edge for a very, very long time. It's one thing that I can look back at something like this and I can appreciate it because there was 2 different ports, because there was the NES ports for the people who love nostalgia and who have no life and want to memorize every level, and then there's a version for somebody like me who's oh, you were saying that I can just keep playing the game forever and enjoy the experience? And I mean, the combat's so fluid in this game. Even though some of the boss fights get kind of tedious, right? It still goes to the show that I was still hooked to the game because of the sheer gameplay, the animation. I mean, look at me be the dick grabber right here. I'm like, you will never slap Clay with your penis again. Grab, punch, punch, punch. And then I blast him off and just to and grab another dicks. I'm fucking two-handing dicks at one time in this clip right here. I'm the dick grabbing machine. I'm Mr. Mushroom Tip puller. Honestly, one thing this game showed me is this is how we should handle sex offenders. The male side. The female side, I guess you just grab both lips and kick, because you need both hands to grab both lips, so you gotta like spread and then do like some like Kama Sutra kicks into that shit. But if you're a man, you just grab and then nut punch, nut punch, nut punch. It will honestly fix a lot of the problems going on in like I'm serious. If you put a guy on stage and you're like, this dude abused a woman's, and you're like, oh wow, that's not cool, and then somebody just grabs his shaft and just starts punching him in the balls, you know, if you put that on live TV, people will be like, I'm no longer gonna do the sexual assaults. That's bad. I think this is what we should do in real life. I mean, is that a little far? No, because that type of shit is cringe. Like, be a normal person. Do not do that. And not that health matters in this game, because you can constantly just spam continue, but I do like that he eats the little bugs to get health like a frog, because he is a frog. Or no, he's a toad. My bad, I messed up toad and frog. That's racist. But I do like in this boss fight, this is one of the most mid boss fights in this game. I have to admit, like, the whole thing is just like you break this machine apart until it's just a rat, and it's got some crappy gimmicks. A lot of these boss fights do, because these games were like predatory AF, bro. They were so predatory. They wanted you to like dump your whole ass lunch money into these games. But I did like the fact that the Dark Queen's in the background, and if you look close enough, you can see a nipple press. You can straight up see a nipple press like popping out in that thing. I'm not going to zoom in because I don't want to like get kicked off of YouTube, but that shows you how these games didn't care. Like, now you would have like one side would be mad at this game because of the violence. Violence is bad. It pleads the male ego or some bullshit. And then the other side would be like, oh, you're just sexualizing kids. You're just sexualizing kids. I like this. It's like South Park, bro. It's got edge for everybody, so you can't cancel it because it's above cancelability. That's the type of shit that's cool to me, where it comes out, it flops its giant wiener or flops its gaping lips on the table, and it says, come at me. Please come inside me and see what you're gonna do, because I don't have enough F's to give. And another thing that made me like prove to me that this is the game that I will come back to over the NES port was this falling down the shaft level was so much more fun. I mean, my jetpack, it's a jetpack instead of me just holding on to a piece of fucking string. I'm like holding on to condensed semen while I fell down the red tunnel. This one I got a jetpack with razor blades on it. Razor blades. And I like me some razor blades. And do you see me just mashing up these like goblins? They're like, oh, the last one had like birds and robots. This one's got goblins. It wants to hit you with that goblin energy. And I just loved this. I loved this whole little section. I found it a little bit weird in this section here. I found it easier to dodge the crap that was trying to kill me a little bit better than the NES version, which I thought was weird because the like boss fights in this game, super predatory. Want you to die, want you to throw in quarters. This section, there was times where it felt like that, but it was mostly in combat. It wasn't like the side stuff popping in to like ass blast your pancreas. It was just like, it was more built, the level was more built a little better so that it didn't have like those gimmicky deaths, which the NES version was full of shit just popping out of the wall to kill you. And not to mention how cool it was when we got to the end of this. Now, this is where the gimmicky death stuff kind of comes in, because they just overload the screen with enemies and it's hard as shit to keep up. And if I were like playing a no-death playthrough of this game, I wouldn't, because I don't have that kind of time and I'm not very good at video games. But killing 1 trillion enemies on screen, sign me up for that. I mean, I played Serious Sam. I am like well versed in carnage, in destruction. So playing this game, I was like, this is the Serious Sam of goddamn side-scroll and beat-em-ups. That's what this is. And then I got to these balls, though. I have to, when I talk about gimmicky bullshit to kill you, you can't even see what's going on for the next ball behind you because the ball takes up so much screen. That's how they knew that they're like, oh, I'm going to take somebody, somebody's going to have to, like, pull their 401k as a child to be able to finish this game. That's how much crap they hit you with at the end. And there's some parts where I was like, bro, as a kid, I would have never gotten to this point. My parents would give me, like, $2 in quarters or $5 in quarters, and they would say, go have fun. And I would have like played this for like 10 minutes and been like, I'm out of money. That's the type of shit this would hit me with. And I think it's funny because like today people like, oh, if a single player game has like cheats locked behind a paywall, or you can get extra currency when you start the game or something. They're like, pay to win, pay to win. But then these same people will go and buy an arcade machine and be like, look at this. This was real gaming. Bro, you are looking at the original pay to win. You are looking at the original microtransaction. And I just want you to live with that, because that's the fact. That's the fact of the matter. But I want to talk about how great this game is, and I'm going to get back to it. One of the funniest fights I had in this game was against this roly-poly son of a bitch. Now, like I said, a lot of this shit is gimmicky to get you to get dead. It wants to pound your nuts into the ground. It wants to pound your ovaries into the ground. It wants to just mash meat them up so you can't have the babies anymore, so that you can dump more quarters into the machine. But I did like the fact that when you beat him to a certain amount, he turned into this big old slob. He's the type of guy that spends all day on Reddit fighting for, like, I don't know, feminism or something. He's like, man, a feminist, and he thinks that he can fight for that cause just so he can get laid. Those are the worst people that are like, I'm woke AF, and they're like, you know, you're not behind closed doors. You say, like, the worst shit ever, but online, now you're an activist. That's what this enemy reminded me of, especially when I hit him and all of his steam popped out. It's like I called him on his shit. It was like, I'm like, you're just trying to get bitches with your woke bullshit. Like, those are the worst people. But then the one part of this game that I didn't enjoy that much, and it was fine, but the controls were like using your dick to flip a light switch, bro, that's way too tall. So you have to get up on a stool, get up to the level, and then you got a soft penis and you're just slapping it against the light switch. That's the controls for the shooting in this game. This shooting section was garbage, hot trash. It was like clunkier than all hell. I mean, it was like watching two old people fornicate on top of like a casket. Just like if I saw that in real life, I couldn't put it down. I couldn't stare away. I mean, you know, you'd pull your phone out and film that shit. You're like, there's two old people having sex on a casket right now. You'd hit up all your buddies on Snapchat. And that's how I felt when I was playing this. Was it good? No. But did the boss fight look like Shredder and I thought that was hilarious? Yes. Was it like kind of funny that I'm on like this weird spaceship shooting brains out of a guy? Yes. So I kept playing. It was the actual like stuff going on. It's the character designs. It's the animations. When he gets zapped, I think it's hilarious. He just was like, oh, please don't shoot. Please don't shoot. Both hands up. And I don't know. I thought it was just like funny. And every time I'd get to a point in this game where I was like, it's not the best. And really, this was the only place where I thought about putting the game down. And it's not even that it's hard. It like, you die a lot because it'll kill you with stupid shit, and at a certain point, I stopped trying to avoid bullets because I have infinite lives, so why would I try to avoid it? But I don't know, it was funny, and I'm glad I did, because this ends up being the last level of the game, so I actually beat one of the rare replay games. And what a fantastic one to finally beat. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment, baby. Just leave lots of comments. But that's all I got for you. Catch you later.